Welcome back to Operation American Dream. I'm Eve Nasby with some very special guests with us this morning. We want to welcome to our studio Lauren Alexander and David Villarreal. Welcome.
It's our pleasure to be here.
You know, last week, our good friend Daniel Lehman and the co-host for this show interviewed John Alexander, who happens to be your dad.
Correct.
With Affinity Partnership. And it was through that, I think it's called VA Lone Ranger program, that you kind of uncovered this need for what we're going to talk about today, which is canine companions for veterans. So talk a little bit about that.
So with our program, VA Lone Ranger, we wanted something that we could do to benefit those that we worked with. And around that time that we were brainstorming what to do, I had a friend who had served 2 tours, and unfortunately, he ended up committing suicide. And in that event, it was found that there was a huge chance that if he had had a service animal, that his suicide would have been, if not prevented, the chance reduced.
Wow.
And started doing research into it and realized how many veterans there are out there that don't have access to the service dog that they need or service animal. And so we decided to form Canine Companions for Veterans.
Wow. And I think, you know, the Canine, your organization serves those with PTSD and traumatic brain injury. And I think it's a little bit more prevalent than we believe it is. And so with the PTSD, you shared your story. I don't know if you would mind sharing with our viewers your own journey through PTSD, and you never served.
Definitely. PTSD is definitely one of those things that people see as being only with military members, which isn't true. It can occur in other people who have had traumatic events in their life. I was diagnosed with PTSD myself, and it's a battle that I can relate to. There are certain things that are harder than others. You know, there's nightmares, there's weird things that cause anxiety. And so it was really something that I was passionate about because you can't see PTSD.
Right.
And a lot of people, because you can't see it, act like it's not there.
Right.
But it's a real thing that impacts people's lives, and a dog can change that immensely.
Yes.
I have my own little puppy, and it's not little, but he's been a huge impact on comfort, and he's actually being trained to be a service dog himself.
Well, you're beautiful, you're vivacious, and no one would know that you had PTSD and TBI. I think you were just sharing you had brain surgery, and you've got a 5-year recovery period.
Yes.
So, you know, for us as civilians walking on the street and making these assumptions that only veterans could ever get PTSD or TBI is a fallacy. So thank you for bringing that to our attention and sharing your story with us, because I know it's been a challenging journey for you. But out of that is birthed this amazing nonprofit you started. Correct. So when we have viewers out there that are thinking, gosh, I'd really like to have a dog, what is that process that they need to go through to connect up with you, to perhaps be paired with a dog?
So we have a website, it's cc4v.org. And on that is our contact information. What makes us unique is that we work with veteran organizations to specifically tailor a dog to a veteran. So in that process, we do work with them because what you see as your need is sometimes different than what a professional knows that you need. So we work with them to find out exactly what abilities that dog needs to be trained with, whether it be treatment for anxiety or possible mobility assistance. There's a whole array of things that a dog can be trained for. And so we work with the VA organization to help tailor that dog specifically to you.
So let's talk about your specific situation. You've got a dog that's being trained for what?
My dog helps with nightmares. So if I ever start stirring in my sleep, it's very apparent when I'm going to start having a nightmare. And my puppy will jump up on the bed, and he'll put enough pressure on my shoulder to actually wake me up. And so it stops. And it's been amazing just with the little preparation that my dog has, because he's only 9 months old, but he's been able to make a world of difference for me.
That's tremendous. And David, you are standing in support of her. Tell us about your role with the organization.
Well, I think that one of the compliments to the organization is that we're able to use our platform at Affinity Partnerships to give genesis to Canine Companions for Veterans. The necessity for something of this size and this caliber is very evident when you look at the statistics. Today, you could look at various numbers, but what we do have a recurring sense of is that 22 veterans daily commit suicide as it relates to PTSD. For us, the goal was to establish a type of platform that would complement that community and try to get that 22 number down to 0.
Amen. Let's
So,
do it.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the excitement, the enthusiasm that we have is that we know it impacts daily lives. It impacts those people who have given us great service. And the attitude that most people have when we talk about this foundation is that, how can I come and support it?
Yes.
And so, to your question, I'm one of the board members. I am a member of Affinity as well. But the enthusiasm for me is to be able to return to those veterans, for their service, some benefit that we can provide.
Did you ever serve?
No, I didn't.
And neither did I. And I think this is an excellent example of how you and I, as just regular civilians, can give back to our veterans who have served our country so faithfully. So on a logistical standpoint, is there opportunities for volunteering? How do we make donations to your organization? What's the opportunities there?
Well, I think you can look at the website address that'll appear here on the screen.
Yes.
cc4v.org is going to be an accessory that you can utilize for information, you can utilize for contributions, you can utilize for a number of avenues that can be a benefit to us.
Excellent. Well, David Villarreal and Lauren Alexander, Canine Companions for Veterans, thank you for being a part of our show. Thank you for what you're doing to better the lives of our veterans and let us get that statistic down to 0. Thank you for being a part of our show.
And thank you to all the veterans for your service.
You're watching Operation American Dream. We will be right back.